Fast as lightning, sharp as a sword. Greetings, YouTube. I'm Lightning Sword, and I find it fascinating how expectations of an episode can color our overall reception of it, especially if those expectations are lower than what we actually saw. When I saw the description for Buckball season, I expected one of two things. The more hopeful of the two, Applejack and Rainbow Dash have two different coaching strategies, and Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy react better to AJ's nurturing than Dash's harsher methods. The more realistic of the two, a rehash of every Dash makes Flutters do things she doesn't want to do scenario in every Dash Fluttershy episode ever. Either way, I didn't expect much, and wasn't prepared for what I got. I figured out early on that my incongruous reactions must be because of my distaste toward a certain character, whose name, if even mentioned, will immediately start an argument in the comments. So, to help keep my loathing in check, and maybe give me a different perspective on things, I thought to myself,
I think we might need a little bit of help.
And I asked, and I shall receive. Welcome aboard, AJ.
Greetings, everyone. So, Lightning, did you bring me here to talk about Pride of the Apples, or to confess that Newbie Dash is the best episode of Season 6?
Yeah, let's not get carried away. You're only here to help with this review.
Worth a shot. Well, in any case, I'm here to maintain a positive attitude in your reviews, show you the brighter side of things. And today, we're talking about Buckball. Hey, what's your channel's rating?
You know, as much as I dislike censorship, let's just keep our minds out of the gutters as much as possible. So, let's get started on reviewing The Libman and Ball Show. Because let's be honest, that's exactly what this is. The episode opens with Applejack doing stuff. Some kind of training, I suppose. Hey, if someone interrupted Applejack right now and made her stumble and fall in a comical fashion, and you had to guess which of the main six would be the one to do it, who would you guess it would be? Come on, guess. I guess that would have been my second choice.
Applejack practicing for a Buckball game against Bourbon's Appaloosa team. And Dash is in.
I've just got one question.
Don't ask what Buckball is.
What's Buckball?
Why?
Well, there are a lot of things Buckball could mean.
I don't know anything about it at all, but it sounds like there's a ball and bucking, so I'm betting it's super duper fun!
I applaud you if you had cleaner thoughts than I did during this episode.
Well, maybe not during the entire episode, but I'm still rather proud of myself.
As to what the game is, the best way I could describe it is a cross between soccer and basketball, with some foursquare, and, come to think of it, a bit of pro bending from Legend of Korra, since it requires one of each type of pony on a team, and is highly team-based.
Also, according to the rules, each team's Earth Pony acts as the team's striker, the Pegasus as the goalie, and the Unicorn levitates baskets used for the goals. Yeah, and there are three types of balls. The Quaffle is for scoring and... oh, shoot, wrong sport. Never mind. So by now, Dash has everything down. And well before they recruit Pinkie and Fluttershy to help with the tryouts for the Unicorn spot. So as it turns out, Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy are Buckball geniuses.
I've been doing this a lot longer than you. Nice kick.
I don't know about you, AJ, but I am thoroughly impressed.
Well, hello there, Mr. Ball.
And thoroughly enamored.
Yeah, though if I have to nitpick, I can understand Pinkie Pie being a good shut up! A good player. Don't you dare think that way. But why is Fluttershy a better blocker than Rainbow Dash?
Why wouldn't she be?
Well, I guess it's one of those things you have to push suspension of disbelief to make the story work.
Or it could be that, under the right circumstances, Fluttershy is a far superior flyer to Rainbow Dash. The Return of Harmony Part 2, anyone? Unfortunately, the Unicorn tryouts aren't nearly as adept. It seems as though every idiot with a horn in Ponyville showed up today.
Carrying my water, my water, my water, carrying my water on my shoulder pole.
Well, almost every idiot. I can feel the collective male IQ draining away as I speak. But this was the point where I quickly needed to be reminded of the definition for the word savant.
Ahem.
Sorry? Didn't mean for that to come off as an insult.
Snails! Look out!
Damn, son! If you thought Pinky and Flutters were excellent, Snails, of all ponies, is a Buckball virtuoso.
I have no problems here. This season sure has been a good one for male characters.
Very true. In fact, I mentioned in many of my reviews already that Season 6 has done wonders for the fellas of MLP. So it seems Dash and AJ have their team set, and Flutters and Pinky are on it instead of them. That's actually a shock to me. When it comes to winning, one would think Rainbow Dash would want it all to herself. But that would mean missing an opportunity to act as Fluttershy's dominatrix for the umpteenth time. I know, but it bugs me and I just can't ignore it. And we get a training montage. The perfect opportunity to demonstrate why Rainbow Dash and Applejack are insufferable here.
Come on, faster! You don't want Ponyville to lose because he can't get into high gear, do you?
Come on, Jerry, move!
Come on, push, push, push! Faster!
Faster, go, go!
Come on!
Come on, push it, Jerry!
Come on!
Let's go!
Okay, not a bad reference, but do you really need...
Yes, I do. I'm sure a dozen reviewers made the comparison already, but it drives the point across. Rainbow Dash's drill sergeant nonsense is indeed a rehash of Hurricane Fluttershy, and the Crystal Empire, and Dragon Quest, and Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000, and Sonic Rainboom, and Traja. Do I have to go on? As much anger as I get from her fans every time I bring it up, no one stops to think about why I point it out so often. It's the status quo, and it sucks. If it wasn't as prevalent as it is, I wouldn't bring it up. Simple as that. And before you say it, yes, Applejack is no better. In the one where Pinkie Pie knows, Pinkie guilted herself into keeping the secret for the entire episode, for fear of letting everyone down. Here, Applejack is doing the guilting for her, making her afraid of letting the apples down. I would say this is out of character, but Dash and Applejack have been known to be intensely, bordering on immorally competitive before. In Season 1. After which they should have outgrown this childish nonsense. Especially Applejack. But I digress. And if you want a bright side to Dash's behavior, at least she isn't as blindingly stupid as this.
Well, why didn't you say anything?
Oh, shut up!
If I may, remember that talk we had about being more positive?
I remember making no promises.
Well, actually, you did that one time we were drunk on cider, but details.
I told you never to talk about... Never mind. What do you got, AJ?
Unlike past episodes, here Rainbow Dash and AJ can get away with it because this episode is a bit more about them. They can admit when some pony would be better at something than them. As for training, they're trying to do the job as coaches. I mean, if you were coaching a soccer team, wouldn't you do everything you could to try to give your team the best shot at winning?
At the expense of the mental state of the players, which affects their performance? A good coach would know not to do that. But I suppose this would be Dash and Applejack learning what good coaches do. And I guess Fluttershy has become a much stronger character lately, so I can't really say that much.
Okay, you got a good point with Fluttershy, but with Pinkie Pie?
What about her?
You would think a whole town of ponies cheering her on would do the trick.
Exactly, because Pinkie Pie is an extrovert. But here, Pinkie's nervousness comes from the guilt of letting ponies down if she fails. This is actually a great way to write Pinkie, having her buckle under the pressure to please. Without that, she would indeed thrive on the whole town cheering her on.
That's another point. They don't realize their methods aren't working until Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie's performances start to suffer, and Fluttershy breaks down. Once they do, they're able to step back and realize their mistakes. Then, adjust their training to fit with their friends.
All very good points, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Been forever!
Whoa! What?
Okay, now you're just showing off.
At least he's got the idea.
Just keep breathing.
So it does fit in with how Rainbow Dash and Applejack are able to help Pinkie Pie's and Fluttershy's nervousness.
Unfortunately, that appears to be a slow process. That's when these two have the nerve to be surprised that pressure doesn't help them. Meh. Residual idiocy left over from the kart racing debacle, I suppose.
Be sure to get your heads in the game before tomorrow. All of Ponyville is counting on a win.
The same Ponyville that up until today didn't even know the game existed? You mind explaining how the whole town would care so much about it then?
Go Ponyville! Go Ponyville! Win, win, win! We kind of went around town and talked up the team a little. Yep. We wanted to make sure you two knew that all of Ponyville was behind you.
Have I told you lately that I hate you? Have I told you there's nothing I like about you?
Just spend the whole ride to Appaloosa thinking about every pony cheering for the victorious Ponyville Buckball team. I bet Princess Celestia even comes to congratulate you. If that doesn't get you in the zone, I don't know what will.
Have you creatures learned nothing from Hurricane Fluttershy and Philly Vanilli? Oh, speaking of which, let's address something else here.
Hey! You two are supposed to be in the zone!
Oh, you're gonna get it in a minute, but first things first.
Lightning?
Oh, shush! It's necessary.
You see, the thing is, thinking about every pony, thinking about us, there's just no way.
See that? Remember that shit? This scene means you have the right to say precisely, F*** all. What? I censored it, give me a break. And here it comes.
There's no way that we can get in the zone because the zone sounds like a horrible place since we are terrible at Buckball and we are going to lose and let every pony down and we don't want to play anymore!
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
Seriously, I don't know how to feel about this. On the one hand, I never liked seeing Fluttershy so distressed. But on the other, seeing her tell Dash off at long last is so cathartic. And both she and Applejack have had this coming for a while now.
Well, sometimes some people just won't get it unless you're brutally honest. It may hurt, but it does get its point across, and a lot of good can come out of it as Applejack and Rainbow Dash get it.
All the more reason why this should feel good to see. But then why does the catharsis feel so hollow? Is it because it must be shared with a pony I once had no strong feelings about one way or the other? Or was my longing for this brief shining moment not all it was cracked up to be? Oh, is Lightning Sword?
Breathe. Just breathe. Do I need to get you a paper bag?
Thank you, Professor Dumbledore. Now I don't have to volunteer as tribute.
I'm still okay with playing in case you were worried.
You stay out of this! I will give the episode one thing, if nothing else. This is where I expected it to pull a Hurricane Fluttershy and have Applejack and Rainbow Dash try to guilt Pinky and Fluttershy back into the game. Instead...
Having ponies depend on you is exactly what you need to focus. Get serious and play hard and get ready to totally smash the competition and none of that sounds like Pinky or Fluttershy, does it?
Realization of past wrongdoings recognized of her own volition? Without having to resort to a fake superhero or a zombie apocalypse? I think I've lost touch with reality as I know it.
And this coming from the guy who wrote Prior to the Apples. No offense.
None taken. Scarf-wearing little...
We got so wrapped up in what's important to us, we went and ruined what was fun about the game for them.
Sound familiar? And as if this episode could intensify my existential quandary even more...
But it's better to do it now than during the game against Appaloosa.
You don't have to play against Appaloosa.
See? I knew you'd try to guilt-trip your friends into doing what you want. Whoa, wait. What?
You don't have to play against Appaloosa.
See? I told you there was some...
Pinky's there and you like her more. Applejack's there keeping you in line. The stakes aren't as big here. You have less to gain here. You barely knew about Buckball before this. Do you not understand why this doesn't make any sense to me at all?
Well, I see your point. Though, maybe you should give Dash some slack. If anything, I think she's been very lenient during this whole episode. Still, if you just...
No! Duh! I can't stop myself going over the excuses why Rainbow Dash would never be this lenient. I must know. There is subterfuge here. Ulterior motives. I must find them.
I guess I'll take over then. Dash and Applejack's asked for practice against Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, and despite being nervous at first, they end up shrugging it off and having fun again. This makes the moral of the story more than just having fun is more important than winning, and they make it more of a point to highlight how Pinkie and Fluttershy handle pressure as opposed to preferring a casual atmosphere.
Actually, I like that about the episode too. It delves into psychology and shows actions and reactions and how behavior can change under certain circumstances. I think I see it now. I think I understand what makes this episode good. It's a callback to the great morals of Friendship is Magic, and how the writers took old tropes and made them fresh and new and exciting and... I got it! They had Pinkie and Fluttershy play a casual game to put them back in their fun-loving frame of mind, therefore making them better players again, and giving them no excuses to weasel out of playing Appaloosa. All from the devious mind of the Blue Witch herself.
Blue? Wait, you mean...
I'm unto you, you little psychedelic shrew. Oh dear, I've gone too far, haven't I?
You think?
Ooh, this is awkward. What should I do?
You could do what I do and not think about it. Seriously, I don't think about anything. Ever.
What?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let go of the stress. Notice I didn't word it the way I could have?
Yeah, let's not make another I hate Frozen convention in the comments. Anyway, I'm on thin ice with copyrights as it is.
Fair enough. Anyway, it's best not to worry about those around you.
It's good that you got that much from it, but all I heard out of Snails was "Heard the dur dur dur, am dumb because boy, heard dur 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 dur." Needless to say, he wasn't as eloquent as you, AJ.
Ella... Should I be insulted by that? Let's see... Define as...
Anyway, Flutters and Pinkie are back on the team. They defeat Brayburn and his team. The latter declines to join in the obligatory end-of-episode group laugh, and that's about it. That was Buckball season, and I'm feeling very emotionally fragile right now. Like 28 Pranks Later, it has a lot of good things and bad things. The story is kinda boring, the plot is overused, and Rainbow Dash, well, she's Rainbow Dash. But on the flip side, it has legitimately good points. And unlike 28 Pranks Later, the bad doesn't take away from the good nearly as much. Or at least it shouldn't. Characters are well represented here. The concept of Buckball makes for excellent world building. And they did what I previously considered impossible. I mean, besides making Rainbow Dash actually figure out her screw-ups on her own for once. They took Snails, a character with no personality, no use, and no purpose in the story at all, except for a cheap laugh and a cheap shot at stereotyping men, and gave him some small semblance of character. He's more than just an idiot joined at the hip with another idiot. He actually does stuff. Good stuff. Worthwhile stuff. As for where Snips is, I neither know nor care. I wouldn't be bothered with Applejack and Rainbow Dash acting like one-dimensional jerks if this episode were nestled comfortably in Season 2. Where it belongs. But upon reflection, if this was a Season 2 episode, you'd never know the difference. No Twi'lek, no Palace, no Starlight, no CMC. They're building up on Ponyville culture, addressing characters that desperately needed development as much then as they do now, and the moral is a fresh twist on an old kids show trope, similarly to when Lauren Faust herself was still working on the show. The only thing really giving it away as a Season 6 episode is the intro. I might even go so far as to say that this episode is a homage to the first 2 seasons. You know, before Lauren left and everything went to hell. I don't believe that very strongly, but the evidence seems to be there. I'm pretty drained after this one, so I think I'll kick back and catch the game tonight. If you like the review, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, support me on Patreon, And I want to give a special thanks to AJ for joining me. Check out his content too when you have time. I'll link his channel below. I'll be back with a new video soon. Until then, this is Lightning Sword.
And this is AJ. We hope this video was worth your time.
Indeed. And as always, stay quick, stay sharp, and thanks for watching.
I kind of have to give you only a 7 for your positive attitude. For the record, it's much better score than what I originally was going to give you.
Figures I'd screw this up.
Oh, stop it. You did great. You just gotta not think so much and keep smiling. Say, how about we review an episode at my place? And maybe find the root of your negativity problems there.
Alright. What's this one about?
Well, Starlight Glimmer...
Oh, no. I'm out of here.
What, get back here. Isn't this show supposed to be about love and tolerance and not judging? You don't even know if it will be bad. This will be good for you.
No!